What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Toya and Reginae. This is season 2, episode 6 or 7. I think it's episode 7, actually. And let's go ahead and get right to this review. So we actually see Toya and Red. They are going to go play a game of pickleball. Now, neither one of them have actually played pickleball. However, y'all know pickleball has came in and taken over. Everybody playing pickleball. The kids, the old folks, the young people. Everybody playing pickleball. So they play a game or whatever, and then they go sit down and have a conversation. Now, I must say, I love this conversation because we did not revert back to everything that happened at that damn reunion. We had more things to talk about that were far more interesting. So they did talk about the fact that Toya still needs to apologize to Reginae, but Reginae has been really busy. She's working on a movie, so they just haven't seen each other to really have that conversation. And honestly, I love the fact that she's planning on having a conversation with Nay in person and not trying to do stuff over the phone, because that type of apology for sure should be given in person. She also mentions how she needs to get more jumpers for her organization. And I'm like, okay, what's she talking about? So I think this is such a genius, smart, beautiful, amazing idea. Okay. Toya has noticed that little girls are not jumping rope anymore. So she wants to bring that back. I personally love that because I remember growing up playing double dutch with my friends, oh my gosh, on the playground, in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to make sure they get first or zero, because at some point they brought in zero as if that was a real number so that they could go first. You know, sometimes you had certain people who were turners because they could turn good for you. It was a time to be alive. And I think that is so good if she's able to get some girls, you know what I'm saying, who maybe have never jumped before, or they may be only kids, you know what I'm saying, they don't really have nobody to play with. You can create a community of girls who have something that they like to do. Okay, we're some jumpers. Because let me tell y'all something. Every time I used to see those jump rope competitions, when I was younger, they used to come on like those random sports channels. It was always little white girls, little white boys. They were the only people who were jumping rope in those competitions. And I always thought that we need to be able to create programs that get our black children into these types of things. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with being a professional double dutcher? Okay? Get some trophies. Get some awards. Our only sports don't have to be football and baseball and maybe a softball and basketball. And there are other sports out there. So I think that is a beautiful program. I do want to see her promote that more and really, get her program out there and be able to set it up in different cities. I think that would be great. So, besides that, she also mentions that Walter said that he wants to start a podcast. He wants to talk about prison reform. He wants to talk about a couple of other things. And honestly, I don't hate that idea, because at this point, Walter is on the show. This is a platform for him. He can promote his podcast, and I think that's beautiful. This is what I mean by, at least he is trying to put in the work, okay? Yes, his sister is the one who has the connections to knowing how to put podcasts together, or at least she knows somebody who knows how to put a podcast together. However, I'm pretty sure all the content, that will be on Walter. He's not asking Toya to hold his hand. And I think that with him coming out of prison, wanting to do better, I mean, the man did, 9 years or something like that? Some crazy number. He wants a platform, and he wants to use it to help people. I'm all down for that. And I feel like Toya is supportive of that. To me, that is very different than you still trying to be a struggling rapper at the age of 40. I'm sorry, Casey. We got to find something else. The rapping ain't it. So, like, Casey, what's the day job? What are we doing? Nonetheless, and again, this is the reason why I really do love Red, because he knows that Toya has a tendency to pile everything on her plate. And he's like, nah, boo, I got you. When it comes to the situation with Walter, I will handle him getting introduced to the right people so that way he can get this podcast started. You don't have to worry about that. Like, they have a really, really good partnership. Seriously. And I am so glad that Toya has been able to have a good relationship with Red, because y'all know she's been through some up and down relationships, whether it been Wayne or it was, I can't even remember that other guy's name. The guy who hit K. Michelle. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But moving on from that, he brings up, hey, remember that baby that we talked about? When we gonna get started on that? So Toya says that she finally made the decision to schedule her appointment so that way she could get the fibroids that came back. She wants to get them removed, and that way they can go ahead and try to have a son. And I'm just like, okay, cool. If they want to expand their family, that's beautiful. I really hope that they're able to do it. I just feel so bad because there are so many women who, especially black women, who have fibroid issues. And it just really sucks that those things can come back. Like, you already have been going through pain. You've been going through all of the ups and downs of having fibroids. And on top of that, you go get them removed. And for the audacity of them to pop back up. Like, fibroids is so damn disrespectful. So disrespectful. But that was pretty much that scene. So hopefully they do get to have a baby boy. Hopefully we do hear an announcement later on in this year, fingers crossed, that they are going to be having a baby. Now, moving on, we see Reginae. She is going in for a fitting for the movie that she's working on, right? And she comes in, talks to the lady, and the lady's like, okay, well, you're going to be wearing this, this, and this. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you what annoyed me. What annoyed me was that Reginae said, oh, is all of this new? As in, are these clothes like new clothes? And the lady was like, yeah. Let me tell y'all why that pissed me off. Okay? That pissed me off because, here's the thing. When you work in the industry, the TV and film industry, and you're working on a movie, everything that you get as far as clothes, it's not going to be new. Like, if you're doing a period piece, a lot of times, there's this thing called a costume house. Let me just give y'all a little background info. There's a thing called a costume house that is full of clothes ranging from different periods. It could be modern clothes. It could be stuff from the 80s. It could be stuff from the 1920s. It could be all these things. Costumes, like all the things, okay? And depending on what type of production this is, it could be a movie that's from the 50s. Reginae, those clothes are not going to be brand new. Because they want that movie to look authentic, number one, they're not going to be making every piece of clothing special for you. And secondly, those clothes are going to be worn. They're going to be used. So I just want her to get comfortable with the idea that, hey, if you ever have to do a period piece, you may be wearing some clothes that ain't brand new, girl. Just throwing that out there. It comes with the territory. It comes with the job. Especially if you're not number one on that call sheet. You number one on the call sheet, they may make exceptions and they may have things specially made for you. If, for example, like if you're doing something like a Bridgerton. Bridgerton, yes, that is all custom work. Okay? Now, but if you're doing something that's like, oh, based in the 80s, oh no. We're about to hit up the costume house and see what their selection of things from the 80s are, which are authentic clothes from the 80s. And you're going to put that outfit on. Okay? Just throwing that out there. That you don't always get brand new clothes. But moving on from that. Don't ask me how I know all those things. Moving on from that, we do see her co-star. I think his name is Brad James. He comes in, says hello to her, and they basically just chat about the role that she's going to be playing. She says that it's very different than all the rest of the roles that she's done because she's going to be like this bounty hunter and doing all these things. So we shall see. I don't think that the movie is out yet, but if it comes out, maybe I'll do a review on it. Who knows? Now, One thing I will say about Brad is that man, he be working, okay? Maybe not on the big screen. However, I feel like every year I see that man in some type of Christmas movie on Lifetime, on those types of things. He does some Tubi projects. At least he working, okay? And shout out to his wife, because I do like Keisha Knight Pulliam. So he ends up leaving. And baby, she tried them clothes on. And by the time she came out, here come Nita. I said, okay, she getting all the visitors. She ain't about to get through these clothes. So the whole reason why Anita is even there is because Reginae wants to see where her head is. And here's the thing. She doesn't want her grandmother to be stuck on her grandfather. Like, girl, you can move on. There's other men out here. Let's get you out here in these streets. Now, Nita says that she definitely needed that apology because it gave her closure and now she can move on with her life. So Nay is like, okay, cool, you can move on. Let's get you on some dates. And Nita like, hold on a little bit because that was my children's father. And here's the thing. Yes, that may be your kid's daddy, but baby, you ain't got to stick with that man. Because, I don't know, I think Walter might still be out here for these streets. It's giving Walter is still for the streets, ma'am. Move on and find you a nice older man. So, Nita agrees. She is willing to do the dating app that Reginae told her about. So now, Reginae has the task of hooking her grandmother up with a nice man. Okay? Good for them. We pretty much wrapped this scene up with Nay trying on clothes and Nita hyping her up. Moving on. Alright, so in the next scene, we actually have Beanie. She is going to get some help with her DJing. I personally love female DJs. I think that this is a great opportunity for Beanie, especially the fact that she can capitalize on the fact that she's on this show. You know what I'm saying? Use it to your advantage, baby, and get to promote yourself. I love that for her. Again, this is another way that we can see Toya's family branching out and not exactly needing her every step of the way. She's doing this for herself. Good for Beanie. Then next thing you know, after she's getting a few lessons, Toya ends up coming in and Toya invites her to this brunch or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Nice little brunch for the ladies. Now, the conversation between Toya and Beanie was basically them kind of catching each other up. Or should I say Toya catching Beanie up on what's going on in her life. And I can't say this. You can absolutely tell that there is a little disconnect when it comes to the way they converse with each other. But I think over time, if they keep having conversations with each other, then Beanie will open up more. And I feel like they can kind of come to some understanding. That's what I would hope. But yeah, they just need to talk more. Alright, so here's the thing. They talk about the disconnect that they have, and there's two things happening. You have Toya being focused on the fact that there's a disconnect between her and her sister, and she wants to get that right. However, for Beanie is stuck on the fact that her sister don't like her girlfriend. Okay? And she wants her sister to get cool with her girlfriend because according to her, that's going to make her more comfortable to talk to Toya. And here's the thing, Beanie. If you need your sister to talk to her so that you can feel comfortable talking to your sister, to me that sounds like you allow Mel to control situations. And not even intentionally like Mel is the one who's controlling it, but you're putting her in that position. Okay? Because I see Toya's point. Like, where did this conversation about Mel have to come from? Like, I'm talking about me and you. Not who we're dating. None of that. Just me and you as sisters. How can we better our relationship? So, I do now kind of understand where Toya is coming from. Like, I don't need to meet your girlfriend. I need to really meet you. See what Beanie is all about. Because I don't know you like that. Alright, so next we see this conversation happen between Reginae and her mom. And, oh yeah, Rain was there too. They go to do some activity. And at first they're talking about how Reginae is acting. And here's the thing. All the roles that Reginae has booked has been in Atlanta. So, of course, Toya is like, girl, just go ahead and move home. But Reginae is still on the fence about that. She wants her space, and it doesn't help that everybody in the family done moved to Atlanta. If some of them was still in New Orleans, maybe she could have worked with it, but she likes her space. So then Reginae goes on to talk about how her grandma showed up to her fitting at the movie studio. All right, so we do finally see the apology happen, okay? And I do appreciate the fact that Toya apologized to Reginae. And she was basically saying how, like, you don't know the dynamics of my parents. And I'm just like, Toya, you don't know the full dynamics of your parents. But I'm going to let you hold on to this. And basically, she just didn't want Reginae to get mixed in all the drama because she's always brought into things. And yes, because you be bringing her into stuff too. But again, Reginae is not a young girl anymore. Like, she's in her later 20s at this point, so she has experienced some things in life. I think that she is valid in having an opinion. Let's stop treating her as if she's like 18. All right, so we do see Toya talk about going to see Beatty and how now she does feel like she needs to go ahead and meet with Mel. And I'm just like, Toya, you are so up and down with this. One minute you say you'll meet with her. The next minute you say you don't want to meet with her. Figure that out. But also at the same time, here you go again, bringing Nay into your drama. But you just told her that you don't want to bring her into stuff. Figure that out, Toya. Now, moving on from that, we actually see a conversation had between Walter and Casey. And basically, Walter is saying that he wants to talk about prison reform on his podcast. And Casey goes on to share a quite disturbing story about what went down for him when he was in prison and how he got beat by the guards multiple times. And it just sounded really crazy. I'm just like, yo, Casey has really been through it. I'm so glad that he's in therapy, but baby, he got a lot of work to do. Moving on from that. All right, so in the next scene, we actually see Red. He is taking Walter to meet with his friends who are on the Big Facts podcast. I'm not really familiar with that podcast. However, Walter definitely appreciated it. He was able to ask them questions. They actually liked his idea of what he wanted to talk about on his podcast. And I'm really hoping that we get to see, maybe not even in this season, but even next season, we get to see him at least filming a podcast episode or something, so that way we can see he's really trying to put this out here. Okay, so now we see one of the cutest scenes ever. Nita goes in to get a makeover that Reginae has set up, right? Getting makeup done, hair done, about to look good, right? Nate comes in to set up her dating profile. And I love the way she was asking her grandmother the questions. Nita has such a good personality. And it's not going to be hard for her to find a man at all. And then you have Nate going on her profile on Instagram to find the pictures like, oh yeah, grandma, we got to put this picture on there because you got the bathing suit on and you got your legs out. Like, I love Nate's relationship with her grandmother. It is so beautiful and pure. Love that. It was so cute to see how Nita was gonna flirt. It was just a whole cute scene. But moving on from that, we actually get to see Nita on these dates, okay? Because it's a blind date that they set up. And we meet this guy, Al. He says that he enjoys cooking. And y'all know Nita loves to cook. And keep in mind, Nita is looking amazing, okay? She loves to cook as well. They bond over the fact that they can make gumbo. Now, Al says that he's looking for the type of woman that knows what she wants. She can have a good time, but she's also very serious. And baby, Nita is eating it up. She's like, oh yeah, I'm all those things, okay? So she does say, after her date with Al, that she would like to see him again. I said, okay, Nita, I am supporting this, okay? I love the idea of Nita getting back out there. So then we meet the second guy. Now, his name is Warren. He recently got divorced, but baby, he need a companion. He wants somebody he can watch TV with and cuddle up under, okay? I said, baby, the way Warren talking, he want to jump this lady bones right now, okay? Because he was like, ooh, I love the way you call me baby. I said, ooh, you got to watch him, Nita. But Nita, she enjoyed these dates. And baby, she said she ready to get on the app. I said, okay, girl. Love to see it. Like, honestly, I hate that we had to wait all the way till this episode to see more things happening outside of things going on with Toya. Like, I know that the show is called Toya and Reginae, but I am enjoying seeing scenes without Toya. And sometimes without Reginae. We get to see Beatty go be a DJ. See Walter, you know what I'm saying, go do his thing. Now we see Anita on dates. I like it. Alright, so in this next scene, we actually have Beatty and Mel. They're in the car together. And basically, Beatty has this master plan to bring Mel to Toya's auditions that she's happening for the Jump Rope Girlies. And I'm like, girl, you should already know this about to go left. Because Mel, even though she said that she had no problem with Toya, she do have a problem with Toya. I'm like, both of y'all have problems with each other, but y'all just trying to keep brushing it off. And it's kind of annoying. Now, according to Mel, she wants to clear something up because there were things said that she said something bad to Rain. And basically said that Rain was bad or acting up or whatever. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be completely honest. Sometimes people say things to children, and when the children repeat it back, that's not exactly how it went. Because it's giving... This girl was doing Rain's hair. And Rain may have been tender-headed or something along those lines. Because y'all know little kids don't like getting their hair braided. That's why there are some stylish... They specialize in doing little kids' hair. Because a lot of times, little kids can be fussy. So, I would not be surprised if the girl used the threatening tactic that people like to do and be like, oh my gosh, Rain, you are being so bad. You're being so mean. I'm going to tell your mom on you. So that way this little girl can calm down and start acting right. However, I would not be surprised if when Rain saw her mama was like, she called me bad. She called me this, that, and another. Because kids do that. And I understand that nobody can chastise other people's kids. However, there is a chance that your child may not have been acting the best when they're not in your presence. It's a possibility. I'm just throwing that out there. And it could be the sweetest little kid, but you know, they just may be having a bad day. So she want to clear that up. She also want to clear up the fact that all because Beatty is sticking up for herself, that does not mean that Mel is behind it. But I do think that maybe, just maybe, Mel tells her, like, no, Beatty, you got to stick up for yourself. If you feel some type of way, then you should say something. And when Beatty does say something, they're just like, oh, that ain't how Beatty feel. That's just Mel talking. I can absolutely see that being a thing, too. Alright, so we actually go over to Toya's auditions. She's having the auditions for Pretty Girls Jump. They bring in some girls who said they could turn and they could jump, baby. They are the package. And we about to get started with these auditions. Now, here's the thing that threw me off. I'm all fine with Danielle being there because that's Toya ride or die. But Erica Dixon, I never knew that they even knew each other. Okay? I said, Erica? Scrappy's baby mama? Like, where'd she come from? Is she about to audition? What is going on here? So, we actually do see some of the auditions. And I mean, like, these girls are talented. Like, very talented. One girl was double dutching and jumping rope at the same damn time. We had a girl doing mountain climbers. I said, okay. So, we even see Toya get in the ropes. I think Erica did too. Shocked me. But I'm like, okay, y'all still got it. Alright, so next thing you know, Beatty shows up, right? Mel with her. And she's like, you know, I'm here to support or whatever. And Toya's whole energy changed when she saw Mel. And Beatty's like, you know, after this whole thing, then y'all can talk and everything can be done. And that's because Toya and Mel keep saying, I ain't got no issue with her. I ain't got no issue with her. Toya, you just said and agreed, oh yeah, I'll meet up with her. You can't keep saying that. And then when she set it up, you like, oh no, I can't do that. I don't want to meet up with her. Girl, just talk to the girl and get this shit over with. Like, at this point, you're holding up progress. And, like, what annoyed me was that Danielle was in her confessional, like, I don't know why Beatty chose to crash the event. And I'm like, crash an event? Girl, this was not an event. This was a tryout. Y'all was gonna have this building for a couple of hours, and she didn't even say, Toya, let me pull you to the side and talk right now. She didn't do none of that shit. Beanie just told her, like, hey, after this, y'all can have y'all conversation and we can be done with this. Like, Beanie wasn't disrespectful. None of those things. And like, Danielle, I get you right for Toya, but why does everything have to be on Toya's time? Okay? Why? Like, I get it. People want to be comfortable in conversations, but it just reminds me of how much control Toya has. It's like, even when it comes to her family, like, oh yeah, y'all made me mad, I'm gonna block you for 3 weeks. That's some crazy shit. Like, you over here holding on to energy that you need to let go of. Like, I'm sorry, but the way BD is explaining it, I get it, okay? It's an open environment. I can't bring this girl to your house. So, what's the issue? What's the holdup? Toya, what the fuck else you got to do today? That's my question. What else you got to do today that you cannot have this conversation, considering you say you don't have an issue with this girl? Now, at one point, Toya, she's trying to explain herself, and she's like trying to explain that everything's good. Because, you know, Mel know that because of everything that happened at the hospital. Clearly, Mel don't know that. Hell, you don't know that. So, at this point, BD's like, you know what? This wasn't even supposed to be all of this. Like, I'm not trying to have this type of conversation at this event because that was not her intention. She did say we came to support. And after this, y'all could have had the conversation. Like, honestly, Toya, again, here you go producing. And my whole thing is, you're like, oh my gosh, BD's trying to have this conversation in front of my jumpers. Sweetheart, you could have easily got your ass up from that seat. It was like, you know what, BD? Hold on, ladies. Let me just go talk to my sister real quick, and I'll be right back. Pull BD to the side. Say, you know what, BD? I have a lot going on with the jumpers today. We can actually do this another day, but I do appreciate y'all coming by to support. That's all you had to do. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm giving Toya a side eye as of lately in the way that she handles certain situations in her family. But y'all, that is where the episode left off. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Whose side are y'all on? Y'all on Team Beatty or Team Toya? What do y'all think about Nita and her dates? Let me know in the comment section. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.